Okay. Session 23. In die Chadoshim was Jan Lern hat gearbeitet und gelebt zwischen die groben Arbeiter. Eider, man hat sich der Groben zum Gold, hat eine Sache gesehen, gehört, gelernt und dergangen. Koidem Kol hat sich ausgelernt reden Englisch.
You're forgetting to translate.
Yeah, yeah. I'm interested in the Yiddish. Yeah, thank you. Okay. In the months that Jan Leroux was working and living among the miners, uh, before before they started mining gold, he saw a lot, uh, heard a lot, learned a lot, and went through a lot. קודם כל hat sich ausgelernt reden Englisch und hat angefangen lernen euch englische Bücher und Zeitungen. First of all, he learned how to speak English and he started to read uh, English books and newspapers. Der größte Teil Arbeiter, zwischen welche Jan hat gearbeitet, seinen gewinn Schottländer. Uh, the greater a group of workers among whom Jan was working were Shortlander. I don't know what that is.
Scottish.
Scottish.
Can you say it again? I didn't hear.
Scottish.
Okay.
From Scotland.
Scottish? From Scotland. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Oder der Rieber gerät Englisch mit a Schottländer Akzent. Therefore, he spoke English with a Scottish accent. Was hat geklungen modne in Jans Mund, which sounded strange, but in Jan's mouth when he was talking. Jan hat sich zugehört und reingenommen in Sikon die Rede, die Diskussions, was die Arbeiter haben geführt zwischen sich und auf Meetingen, Diskussions wegen Arbeit und Kapital. Jan was tuning in and taking into his memory, absorbing into his memory the talk, the discussions that the workers were conducting among themselves, and at meetings. Meetingen is meetings. Yeah, okay. Discussions regarding work and money or business. Balabatim und Arbeiter streiken und zusammenstoßen mit Polizei und Militär, Ideen und Meinungen, Welt- und Lebensanschauungen, wo seinen Verein gewinn durchaus nahe. um, that homeowners and I guess a higher economic level and workers strikes and conflict with police and army, ideas and opinions, uh, world and life outlooks, or philosophy that were for him uh, new. Eine große Wirkung auf Janen und hat Patrick McGill. Patrick McGill had great influence of him on him. Unter wem Jan hat gearbeitet, he was working under him. Patrick hat Janen Mekarev gewesen, freundlich, geduldig und gründlich gelernt. Patrick was trying to get Jan closer to him. He was friendly, patient, and quite educated. Patrick hat sich entdeckt Jans Fähigkeiten, sein guten Sikoren, sein Begriff, sein Geschick zu wissen und verstehen. Und Patrick hat sich genommen machen, wie hat gesagt, dem rohen Buch für Menschen. Machen für Menschen hat bei Patrick geheißen, ihm verwandeln in a beweglichen Arbeiter. Okay.
Masha, please go back a little.
Yeah, go back a little. No. Go. I need the sentence above.
Yeah.
Here, Patrick recognized quickly the talents, his good memory, his understanding, his desire to know and to understand. And Patrick started to do as he was saying, like to make to create the raw born. I don't understand the concept.
Well, he wants to change the raw boer into a mensch, into a person. Hat sich genommen machen. He started to undertake, wie hat gesagt, as he said, dem rohen boer, the raw boer, für a Menschen machen, make him into a person. From an unsophisticated guy into someone with more understanding.
Yeah, this is what I thought. I didn't say it like that. Yeah, thank you. Machen für einen Menschen hat bei Patrick geheißen, im verwandeln in a bewusst sinnigen Arbeiter, making him a person meant for Patrick uh, to engage him in a
I think it means verwandeln is to change him into a bewusstsinnig Arbeiter, to a knowledgeable worker who will understand Marxism, basically.
oh, okay, thank you. In sehr freie Showen oder genommen Janen zu sich im Zimmer. In their free time, he took Jan to him into his room. Oder ist gekommen bei Janen in der Heim, mit ihm gerät, erklärt, gegeben zu verstehen das Problem von Arbeit und Kapital und dem ganzen Prozess. Okay. Uh, he, he spoke to him, he explained to him, he let him understand the problem of work and business and the entire process that that is in associated and is included in work and business. Es hat genommen
As,
a hübsche
Rachel, I think here this Arbeitung Kapital is labor and capital. It's in communistic terms.
Thank you. Es hat genommen a hübsche Zeit, bis Jan hat sich gekonnt voneinander kleiben, einem Labyrinth, in welchen Patrick hat ihm hereingeführt. It took quite a time until Jan was able to pick out some labyrinth that's labyrinth is something like a puzzle.
Yeah.
The labyrinth. In other words, to figure out this labyrinth of thought, capital versus workers.
Okay. In welchem Patrick hat ihm, that Patrick has led him into. Mit der Zeit hat Jan angeheben sein Wegen und Stegen, hat angeheben sich auswickeln von die Netzen, hat begriffen, wohin das alles führt und zu welchen Zwecken. Maybe there's a noon missing here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. With time, Jan began to move and to grow. he began to choose Netzen is um,
A net. It's
okay.
puzzle.
Okay. What did you say?
Net. A net. He
Okay,
was finding his way
I
to
understand.
a new concept.
Okay, hat begriffen, he understood where it all leads to and toward what goals to. Now, somebody else take it.
Okay. Später sehen a vollblutiger, a vollblutiger Grubenarbeiter hat gesucht bei Patricken entwers auf Frages, was haben ihm gemattert und hat nicht gefunden bei sich kein Entfer auf sie. Later, when he was a full-blooded miner, he would ask Patrick for answers to the questions that had troubled him, and he couldn't find answers to them. Lloyd, als was hat gehört reden, was Patrick hat ihm gelernt, was hat gelernt, dürfen alle Arbeiter sein Klassenbewusstheit, dürfen leben brüderlich. Jiddisch gleich,
Ideisch.
ideisch gleich. Es darf nicht sein bei sie kein Rossenschnur.
Sinne. Sinne is hatred.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got to get back to the beginning now.
Mhm.
Everything that he heard people saying, which Patrick had taught him, which he had read, all workers should be class conscious and they should live in a brotherly way. Yiddish gleich, what is that, Rachel?
Ideisch gleich of the same mind,
Thank
with the
you.
same ideas.
Yeah, and there should not be amongst them any hatred.
Any racism, something like that.
Racism.
Race is race. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
hatred. I
Yeah.
think that Ideisch gleich is to follow the ideology.
Okay.
The ideology of
Yeah. Okay.
Marxism,
Yeah.
socialism. Are we talking about a situation where there are both white and black workers working together?
Yes. In the mines, the white workers were the bosses. They weren't the bosses. The real owners were in Johannesburg in their offices. Then there were white miners who were like the captains. And then there were the black miners who actually did the work.
Janke, if it were ideology of the same ideology, it would have been in Yiddish the word ideology would appear in Yiddish too. I don't know.
Yes, okay. I think Ideisch gleich to follow the ideas if you don't want to use the word ideology.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I think that's what. Yeah, that's what they should be of the same mind,
Of like mind, yes.
of like-minded people,
Mm.
as they say in English. Yeah. Okay. Thank
Yes,
you.
but the like mind is referring to the socialist
Yeah,
ideology.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Der Arbeiter weiß oder darf wissen nur von Klassen. A worker should a worker knows or should know only about classes. Arbeiter und uh, Balachatim.
I think it's Balebatim. That's
Uh, Balabatim. So
there's a typo.
yeah,
Balebatim. Instead of the half, that should be a bet.
yeah. So the classes are the workers and the owners, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
Ja, aber in einem Schacht, wo arbeitet, herrscht Toleranz zwischen die Arbeiter. But in the mine where he worked, there was intolerance amongst the workers. Die Englische und die
Yeah,
Afri
Herrscht is like there was they ruled. Herrschen
mhm,
is to rule. You know that was the
yeah,
rule. Is uh-huh.
yeah, intolerance ruled amongst the workers. Die Englische und die Afrikaner Arbeiter halten sich basunder, stellen sich hecher, einer von Zwitten und beide herrschen über den Schwarzen. So the English and the Afrikaner workers, they held themselves to be superior. Is that Bazunder?
Yeah,
So separately, they kept themselves separate and
Yeah.
stellen sich hecher and einer von anderen. The English felt they were superior to the Afrikaners, einer hecher von anderen.
Uh-huh. And they put themselves, yeah, one higher than the other, and both of them higher than the blacks.
no, the controlling, and both of them are controlling the Schwarzes. The Herrschen is control.
Ah, sorry, you taught me that word 2 minutes ago and I forgot. I'm sorry.
I didn't say it like that. You know.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Both of them are controlling the blacks.
Okay. Hege seinen alle Arbeiter.
Sorry,
Schle-
there's a lot of Hebrew here. Hagam, even though they are all workers, that Hagam is even though.
Thank you. Okay. Haganze seinen alle Arbeiter schleppen demselben Joch. They carry the same yoke.
Yeah,
Jan begreift es nicht. Jan didn't understand that?
yeah, doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Es fragt sich. He asks himself, was bekommt sich von alle Lehrers und Theories, was man kommt rein in Menschen, sind so viel Jahren. How is it that what are letters und what where do we get all this learning and theories uh, that we've been uh, telling people or teaching people,
pushing into them,
pushing
pushing.
on people uh, for so many years? Was darf ein Mensch an Arbeiter glauben und was verworfen? what should a person, a worker, believe and what should he reject? Is verworfen reject?
Ja.
Yeah, okay. Jan als bewusstsinniger Arbeiter, wie soll es verstehen und was darf tun? And he, Jan, as a conscious worker, what should he understand and what should he do? Gordi Kadoshim zwischen die Grubenarbeiter hat es ihm gepeinigt, aber kein Chashuva auf dem hat noch nicht gefunden. During his time with the miners, this bothered him, but he could never find an answer. Efter weiß Patrick, efter hat a Erklärung. Maybe Patrick knows. Maybe he has a clearer understanding.
An explanation.
An explanation. Thank you. Wird darüber gehen und sich durchreden mit Patricken wegen dem. So he's going to go and talk to Patrick about this. I'm going to pass the buck now to the next person.
I'm not sure if it's me. I think just one mention. You said verworfen, but it's verwarfen because verworfen means something far away. That's just
Thank you.
anyway. Just a mind.
It's peinigt, not pain.
That's true. Yeah, that's true, Marsha. Also, tshuva, you didn't say it like that. Aber kein tshuva. That's Yiddish.
Uh-huh.
You said it differently. That's tshuva.
Thank you. I never studied Hebrew.
Oh, okay. Here I am.
Right. Good. Okay. So okay. Patrick is gewesen ein Bocher und sein Lehrer hat sich gefunden in einem Quartal von die Arbeiterbocherin. Patrick was a young man and his apartment was in the quarter where the young workers were. Hat gefunden Patrick bei sich in Zimmer. He found Patrick alone in his room. Hat schon geendigt trinken die 2 Flasch beer. He had already finished drinking his 2 bottles of beer. Jan had gewusst, Jan knew as Patrick trinkt, that Patrick likes to drink. Alle Arbeiter trinken, all of the workers like it, drinks. You're going up to a little bit too quickly. Aber keiner hat noch nicht gesehen Patrick and Schicker. But so far, no one had seen Patrick drunk. Ob ist gewesen Schicker, ist geblieben bei sich im Zimmer, bis hat sich ausgenächtert. If he was drunk, he would stay alone in his room until he sobered up. Patrick hat bei Christian und ihm angeboten a glass beer. Patrick greeted Jan and offered him a glass of beer. Jan hat es ausgetrunken and Jan drank it up. Patrick hat angegossen für sich noch a glass beer. Patrick poured out for himself another glass of beer. Jan hat erzählt Patrick was ihm quält. Jan told Patrick what was torturing him. Quellen is an interesting word because it has so many meanings. Here I think it means tortured, but quellen can also mean to grow and to find delight in. But I think this is mental torture here.
Yeah, but isn't quelling, sorry, quelling, ich quell von Vergnügen.
Exactly, to get pleasure, it can be
Yeah.
pleasure. No,
Yeah.
but here I think it means, strangely enough, quellen can also mean torture. So
So,
Here,
but it means both, the word and its opposite.
yeah, so here I think it means it's troubling him. It's
Okay.
not It's not giving him delight. Patrick, well, that's my interpretation, but the word has three meanings. I know that. Patrick hat ihm angeguckt. Patrick looked at him, geschmeichelt und gesagt, uh, Patrick looked at him, he smiled, and he said, Jan, mein Kind, Jan, my child, es freut mir, als mein Arbeit mit dir is nicht gewesen umsonst. I am pleased that my work with you was not for nothing. Wenn ich bin gewesen in dein Alter, when I was your age, habe ich euch gefragt, logisch, über harpe kasches. When I was your age, I also asked logical but difficult questions. Jan, trink noch a Glas beer. Jan, have another beer. Ich bin, ich in meinen jungen Jahren pflege reden auf Arbeitermeetingen. When I was young, I used to speak at workers' meetings, aber früher pflege ich reingießen in sich etliche Gläser Bier und ein paar whiskies, yeah. But before that, I would drink, pour into myself a few glasses of beer and a few whiskies. Danach hat sich gegossen Feuer von meinem Maul. And after that, my talk was like fire that poured out from me. Ich habe vernutzt mehr Wörter, wie viel es befindet sich in der Bibel. I used more words than I found in the Bible. Wörter, Millionen Wörter. Just words, millions of words. Aber was können auftun mit Wörter? But what can you achieve with words? Ich frage dir, I ask you, wie weit können kommen mit bloß Wörter? How far can you go just with words? Hat geöffnet die dritte Flasche Bier, and then he opened the third bottle of beer. Hat sich angegossen und ausgetrunken a Glas. He poured it and he drank it up, and sein Pony was gewesen rot, and his face was red. Hat stark abgekrebst, and he belched. Mit Wörtern kann man viele Fliegen nicht vertreiben. With words you can't even chase away a fly. Tomer gelingt dem Arbeiter herauszureißen von die Balabati mal paar Pennies, mehr für ein Schiff, steigt tegen dein Brot und Fleisch. Okay, well, this is a common problem. Perhaps if you are successful, if the worker is successful to tear out from the boss a few more pennies for each shift, right away the price of bread and meat goes up. And that's happening today. Dein Kleid und Geld und du gefindest dich geseder auf demselben Ort. The same applies to your clothes and to your rent, and you find in order that you find yourself again at the same place. You haven't.
Seder is not okay. Seder is regularly, have all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, Seder is,
Seder
yeah.
can also be order in an
Yeah,
order.
Seder is order, but Seder is drink Seder all the time, habitually.
Okay. Thank you.
This happens, yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. All the time. Ist gesessen, he sat, die Augen vermacht, the eyes closed. Jan hat gedenkt, als Patrick hat gedenkt. Jan, so he sat, the eyes were closed, and Jan thought that Patrick sleeps. Patrick hat geöffnet die Augen. Patrick opened his eyes, hat sich aufgehoben und von einer Schublade herausgenommen einen Brief. He opened his eyes, he stood up, and from a drawer he took out a letter. Du siehst auf dem Brief, you see this letter, what gefragt Jan, and he asked Jan, ich habe es heint gekriegt, I received it today. Das schreibt mir mein alte Mama. My old mother is writing this to me. Mein jüngerer Bruder ist gehargert worden in der Grube, in welcher hat gearbeitet. My younger brother got killed in the mine in which he was working. Wenn fliegt reden verarbeiter, hat die Welt sich zerflackert Wörter. When he used to talk to the workers, well, the world around him flared up with just words. Willst du doch wissen, was man darf tun? Do you really want to know what we have to do? Sag ich dich, es ist nur voran ein Mittel. I am telling you that there is only one way forward. Revolution, yes. Hat getan, a clap in Tisch, he banged the table as the flesher, sorry, that the glass, that the bottles shook, danced. Ich hab gesagt, Revolution. I said revolution, aber Jan, mein Freund, but Jan, my friend, sag mir, wer ist heint in der Lage anzuheben Revolutions? But tell me, my friend, who is today in a position to start a revolution? Du hast gewiss gesehen die ungeschottene Sandberg auf dem Weg von Springs bis Randfontein. You have certainly seen the piled up sand hills on the road from Springs to Randfontein. And this is something you wouldn't have seen, but at the mines, the stuff that they dug up was just piled up in high heaps, and you could see it from the road. Is wieder scheinen sie in deine Augen, huh? And how do they appear to you in your eyes? Hast du wenn getan, Claire, have you ever thought, als in der Wirklichkeit seien es nicht Sandberg? Have you ever thought that in reality, these are not just hills of sand, nor a collection von Vergliedertelungen, okay, but a collection of stiffened lungs, menschliche Lungen, human lungs, huh? And that's because the miners were collecting the sand in their lungs as well. Von wann nehmen sich die Dosikerberg? Where do these hills come from? Menschen seien gestanden und gearbeitet tief in der Erde. It's explaining where it comes from. People were standing and working deep in the earth und arbeitendig seien ihre Lungen geworden, zerfressen und sie haben es herausgespiegen, stickerweise. They worked deep in the ground, and while they were working, their lungs were eaten up, and they have been spitting out piecemeal parts of their lungs. Und also haben sich angesammelt die Berg. And that is really how these hills collected themselves. They haben viele dem Äußern von Lungen. The hills even look like lungs. Zerkarrt und zerteilt in besondere Sticker. They are notched and separated in separate pieces. Lungen von weißer und schwarzer Arbeiter. The lungs of white and black workers. Frage ich dir, so I ask you, können Menschen ohne Lungen, can people without lungs, Menschen, welche haben nicht kein Undergeige wie nur sitzen und warten auf den Tod, people who have no other worry other than sitting and waiting to die, kann man erwarten, can you expect, als what die Dosiker halb tote Menschen sollen anheben, revolutions, that these same people, half dead, should start a revolution. For whom, for women's teuber, sollen sie es tun. For whose benefit should they do it? Weil viele sie wollten wollen und können, even if they should wish and be able to. For die starke und gesunde, should they do that for those who are strong and healthy? Aber what die dosike starke und gesunde will nicht und darf nicht kein Revolutions, but these self-same strong and healthy people don't want and don't need any revolution. They zitteren for revolutions. They are frightened. They tremble for revolutions. Wie der Teufel for weirig, like the devil for the incense from a church. Maar meer wie their eigener miserabeler Leben interessiert sie nicht, because nothing interests them more than their own miserable life. Der Arbeiter stellen sich zufrieden, wenn es gelingt, ihm Arroz zu pressen, a Schilling a Tag mehr für sein Mie. The majority of workers are satisfied when they are successful to press out a shilling, which is a coin in South Africa, or used to be a coin in South Africa, a shilling a day more for his effort. Verklingt es bald in bar. In any case, he drinks it all up soon in the bar, or schenkt es Abeka Zoina, or else he gives it as a present to a prostitute. Darfen die Dosika revolutias? Do these people need revolutions? Hat opgeroept die ledige flash van zich. He pushed away the empty bottle from himself. Jan, mein Freund, Jan, my friend, denk nicht, als ich bin schicker. Don't think that I'm drunk. Und weiß nicht, was ich reden. Don't know what I'm talking. Aber da habe ich sich benutzt mit scharfen Wörtern. Surely, for sure, I have used sharp words. Und ich bin gewiss nicht gerecht, wenn ich verallgemeiner die Arbeiter und Stempel sei mit ein Stempel. And I am definitely not correct when I put together all the workers and stamp them with one stamp. Nicht mehr, ich habe nur gewollt, dir geben an allgemeinem Bild von dem Zustand, but I only wanted to give you a general picture of the situation. In Scheichus mit die Schwarze is die Lage and in relationship to the blacks, the position is like this. Das Hefele Weiße da in Land haben Moira, the small clump of whites here in this country are fearful as kaum wird der Schwarze kriegen Rechten, that as soon as the black man gets rights, sich ausbilden and educates himself, was soft wird es kommen dazu, was soft wird es, which will come, this will happen anyway, wird übernehmen die Macht und werden alle Boss von Land. He will take over the power and become the master of the country. Die Dosika Moira liegt behalten hinter Alexeris. This fear lies hidden behind all the rules, laws, Gesetzen und Umrechten, the rules and injustices, was werden angewendet und begangen gegen die Schwarze, that are turned against and instituted against the blacks. Der Jochid can gar nicht tun. The individual can do nothing to ändern die Lage, to change the situation. Gufa, he himself als Jochid, as an individual, darf sich was ziehen menschlich gegen den Schwarzen, he as an individual has to relate politely, menschlich, as a mensch, as a decent person to the black man, gegen dem schwarzen Arbeiter, to the black worker, welcher ist der Emissair-Arbeiter, who is the true worker, der Proletarier, who is the true proletariat, zu welchen der Ruf Proletarier von der Welt vereinigt sich, to whom the call Proletariat of the World Unite is gewendet. That slogan applies to the black man. Hat sich angegossen, noch ein Glas beer and gesagt, and then he poured himself out another glass of beer and said, "It's Jan, mein Kind, now Jan, my child, geh ich dich zulegen, I'm going to lie down." Und die Zekei was ich hab da gesagt, and I'm not sure what the Zekei is. Any idea what Zekei is?
It's okay.
In Russian, it would be the Central Committee of the Communist Party. I don't know whether he's
But that
referring to
probably
that.
is, yeah, you're probably right. Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think it's the word is tsukai. Mull over it, chew over it.
Oh, that, you're right. I think it's that. Okay.
Maybe maybe it's I think Hebrew like tzedakah, the what I the screaming or the what I was saying loudly, the tzedakah was ich hab da gesagt.
You know what? I accept all three explanations because it's
Because
it's ambiguous. And yeah, you think of from Hebrew tza'ak.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I get that. Uh, anyway, und der Zekai was ich hab da gesagt, and either the principles of the Communist Party or the shouting or what I've chewed over that I've told you, und schreck sich nicht, and don't be frightened, and schreck sich nicht, es überzugeben zu deinem Freund und Bekannter, and don't be frightened to hand this on to your friends and people you know. Sollen sie sich euch vertrachten darüber? Let them also consider this. Schön Zeit, it's already time to leben by my life. Sie sollen euch luftern, their Trachtapparat. It's time for them to ventilate their thoughts, to clear the air of it. Ich will keinem nicht beleidigen. I don't want to insult anyone. Aber trachten und sich hereintrachten schadet keinem und keinem nicht. But thinking and really pondering doesn't hurt anyone anytime. And I think that's enough for me. So whoever's next.
you did a lot.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, much
And
more.
well, yeah. I have a question. I don't know if you read it was in your reading. There was there was a phrase ostu getona tracht. To did you ever think? But tona tracht. That's you know that isn't that Deutschmarisch tona tracht to think?
No, it's very Yiddish. It's Yiddish as well.
Is it?
Yeah. Tonazach, there's a whole there's a whole grammatical thing around using ton. I think it means something that you're doing immediately.
I understand. It's more. It's more of an action thing.
But
But yeah, but
Tonalem,
trachten is not doing. It's
no,
not doing. Yeah.
no, do a thought. Tonatrach, do a trach. Think about it now.
Think about it, yes. Okay, Kapitel 29. Zelda Horowitzes Weib hat gelitten und geschwiegen. Zelda Horowitz's wife suffered but remained silent. Sie hat gelitten, machmes sie hat nicht gekonnt sich einleben in der neue Welt und Zwiebel. She suffered because she couldn't get used to this new world and
Surroundings.
environment.
Huh? Yeah.
An environment. Sie hat gelitten, weil sie hat nicht gekonnt sich zu neu reden mit dem größten Teil Bushman-Copper-Menschen. She suffered because she was unable to speak to the greater number of people living in Bushman-Copper. Und sie hat gelitten, was ihr Mann halt offen das Geschäft Shabbos. And she suffered because her husband kept the shop open on Shabbos. Sie allein hat abgehit alle idische Dinim und Minhagim. She herself observed all the Jewish laws and customs. Sie hat viele probiert, die erste paar Shabbosim zu stellen, cholent in einem eisernen Evala. She even tried to, for the first few Shabboses, to set up, to prepare a cholent in the iron oven. Aber es ist nicht gelungen, but it didn't work out, it wasn't good. Sie hat gelitten euch davon, and she suffered also from that. Dem Tag Shabbos ist sie kimmat nicht heraus vom Haus. Dem Tag Shabbos, during the day of Shabbos, she hardly left the house. Sie ist gesessen und gelehnt dem Teitschchumisch. She sat and she read her Yiddish Chumash, the Yiddish translation of the Chumash, was sie hat mitgebracht von der alte Heim, which she had brought with her from the old home. Die 6 Meschene Leichter, was sie hat euch mitgebracht, seien gewinn die einzige, was haben sie der Mond, als es ist Shabbos auf der Welt. So the 6 brass candlesticks, which she had also brought with her from the old home, they were the only things that reminded her that it was that the Shabbos was existing in the world. Es hat ihr gefällt und sie hat stark gebankt nach der schabbestige Atmosphäre von ihr Geburtsstätte. It was lacking for her, and she longed greatly for the atmosphere of Shabbos, which existed in the town of her birth. Tomer hat sie etliche kurze Reges sich vergessen, wo sie gefindt sich. Und sie hat gedenkt, als sie es noch dorten, hat ein Blick in Fenster ihr zurückgebracht zu der Wirklichkeit. So if for a few short moments she forgot where she was, and she thought that perhaps she was over there. A glance through the window brought her back to reality. Ausgespannte Wegener Geschäft. She saw outspanned wagons out around the shop. Der Schmied klappt, die Mehl räuscht und innerweinig in Shop auf der zweiten Seite Wand tumultes. So the smithy was banging, hammering on the anvil. The mill was making a noise, and inside, in the shop, on the other side of the wall, tumultuous. It was everything. It was very busy. Leah, ihr Tochter, kommt von Besuch beim Schmidts Weib und trockt etwas in Hand, trockt Shabbos. So Leah, her daughter, came back from a visit to the smithy's wife, and she was carrying something in her hand. She was carrying on Shabbos, which is something that is obviously forbidden if you don't have an Eruv, and there wasn't an Eruv there. Und zu dem allemen das Fleisch. And in addition to everything, there was the meat. Zweimal in Woche kommt in Stadt Fleisch. Twice a week, meat came to the to Bushman Kop, to the town. Man sagt ihr, als es kommt von einer idischen Katze, kosher, aber sie ist nicht sicher. They told her that it came from a Jewish butcher, that it was kosher, but she wasn't sure about that. Tomer is das Fleisch älter für ein paar Meisleis. Perhaps this meat was older than a few days, a few 24-hour periods. In die heiße Tag wird es verdorben, and in the hot days it could become spoiled. Wie lang die jüdische Bevölkerung von Bushman-Kop ist gewesen klein, hat sie gelitten und geschwiegen. As long as the Jewish population of Bushman-Kop was a small population, she suffered in silence. She suffered and remained silent. Aber jetzt, mit 10 jüdische Families und einer Zahl Kinder, welche davon a Cheder, hat sie angeheben Monnen, als man soll anstellen a Scheichet. Was soll euch kennen seiner Lehrer, a Balkeure und a so weiter. So, but now, since there were 10 Jewish families and a number of children who needed a cheder, she began to demand that they should appoint a sheikhet, and who would also be a teacher and someone who could read the Torah, etc., and so on. Dem Emes gesagt, hat sie gewahrt und gewollt, als ihr Mann soll nehmen die Initiative in der dosige Sache. If truth be told, she was waiting and she wanted her husband to take on the initiative in this matter. Sie hat einige Mal gegeben, anzuhernischen, aber Horowitz hat den Wunk nicht aufgehabt, nicht verstanden. Several times she had given the intimation to her husband, but Horowitz, her husband, didn't pick up, didn't catch her wink, and he didn't understand. Für ihn persönlich hat die Frage kosher treif nicht existiert. For him personally, the question of kosher or non-kosher didn't exist. Seine Jahren in Afrika haben abgemerkt die Mechitze zwischen treif und kosher, frum und nicht frum. His years in Africa had erased the division between kosher and unkosher, religious and irreligious. Herumfahrendig von Farm zu Farm und oft schlafendig in nicht-idische Hotellen hat gegessen, was man hat ihm erlangt. Going around from farm to farm and often sleeping in non-Jewish hotels where he ate what they placed before him. Zeit zu davenen is euch nicht gewesen. So time for praying, it didn't exist. In der Drang, der zu langsam gestorben, is der Drang, der zu langsam gestorben. So the drive to do these things had long died, had long disappeared. Religia mit ihrer Zeremonies, Symbolen und Ritualen haben in Meschach von Jahren verloren vor ihm dem Sinn und Wert. The symbol, the religion and its ceremonies and symbols, its rituals, during the years, they had lost, for him, they had lost their point and their value. Aber jetzt machen es die Zudringlichkeit von sein Freu hat der warme Unterstützung von Wassermannen, dem Dentist, welcher hat sich geschworen, als ist nicht fromm, nur stammt von einem frommer Haus, der Rieber will anhalten die Tradition. But because of the insistence of his wife, with the support of Wassermann, the dentist, who swore that he himself was not religious, but he came from a religious house, and for that reason he felt that one should maintain the tradition. Unterstützt der Pfarr die Forderung von Frau Horowitz, and for that reason he supported the demand of Mrs. Horowitz, als man soll sich zusammenkommen und herumreden dem Indien. For that reason, because he supported Mrs. Horowitz, he said that they should get together and debate the matter. Horowitz, als ältester Einwohner von Bushmankop, Horowitz as the oldest inhabitant of Bushmankop, hat Maskim gewinn zu sein der Vorsitzer von der Assefa. He agreed to be the chairman of the meeting. Der Hauptredner und Planmacher is gewinn Wasserman. The main speaker and the one who organized, got the plans together, was Wasserman, the dentist. Es hat sich herausgewiesen, als zu die 10 jüdische Families, welche haben gewohnt im Bushmankop Gufa, seien zugekommen noch 2 jüdische Families. It emerged that in addition to the 10 families who were living in Bushmankop itself, there arrived another 2 Jewish families, Yiddish farmers, Jewish farmers, was haben gekauft Grund a 3-4 mile from Bushmankop. These farmers bought a land 2 or 3 or 4 miles from Bushmankop, und bei sie gefinden sich 4 Kinder von Schulälter, and they had 4 children of school-going age. Davon sie doch euch haben na jüdische Lehrer. So they also needed to have a Jewish teacher. Hat Wasserman allemen versichert. Wasserman assured everybody. Is begin kon men schon reden mit a full moil wegen a scheuchet. So in that case, one can speak without hesitation about a shochet. Literally, this is speak with a full mouth, but I think the meaning here is that they can speak without hesitation about a shochet. Auf den ersten Ort ist gestanden die Frage. The most important issue that confronted them was the question: soll der Shochet sein a Bocher, sie a Verheirater? Should the Shochet be a young unmarried man or a married man? Hat man beschlossen, so they decided a Bocher, he should be a young unmarried man. A Mensch mit a Familie wird fordern a größeren Gehalt. A man with a family would demand a greater salary. A Dire und Essen wird man ihm schon müssen besorgen. In a private Haus. Somewhere, a place to stay, an apartment, and they would have to supply him with food and a place to live in a private house. Men ist gekommen zu einem Beschluss, als jede Familie darf es besteuern, darf sich besteuern eine gewisse Summe monatlich letoives die Schirus von Scheuchet. So they came to the decision that each family should contribute a certain amount of money every month for the salary of the Shochet. Die, welche haben Kinder, und der Scheuchet wird mit sein Lernen, welchen davon sollen der Fahr. Those people who had children, uh, who the Shochet would teach, they should pay for this. Gor zum Sof von der Asefer hat Reisman der Sägermacher verschlagen, als man soll suchen an... Sorry? Er hat verschlagen, als man soll suchen an älteren Menschen verscheucht. Towards the end of the meeting, Reisman, the watchmaker, proposed that they should look for an older person to be the sheikhet. Soll sein an almen a gegetter. He should be either a widower or someone who was divorced. A sheikhet, hat gesagt, darf sein an älterer Mensch. A sheikhet, he said, should be an older person. Man hat mehr zu try und Abscheu von einem. One has more confidence and respect for such a person. Reisman hat man in Buschmannkopf geschmust, schatten sich zu Leia Horowitz. Reisman, it was rumored in Buschmannkopf, was trying to arrange a match with Leia Horowitz. Sorry?
Schatten sich zu Lea. Is it that he is trying to court Leah Horowitz? Schatten sich. That's what it seems to me. Not that he's trying to arrange a match for her, but he wants to be the match.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree
Okay.
that he is shortening himself. He wants to marry Leia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah.
He's trying to arrange a match for himself with
Yes.
Leia Horowitz. Okay.
Yes, right.
Okay. Is schon gewesen arriba die 30er. He was already over 30 years old. Aber is gewesen a guter Balmeloche und nicht kein Mieser. But even though he was over 30, he was a good Balmeloche, a good tradesman, and he wasn't exactly ugly. He was fairly good looking. Buschmannkopf hatte ma viele schön besorgt mit a Geschäft. Buschmannkopf had even provided him with a shop, with a business. Horowitz hat man geschmust, wird ihm einordnen bei a Voilier Geschäft. Horowitz, it was rumored, would arrange a Juweliergeschäft, would arrange for him a jewelry shop. Was es felt in Buschmannkopf, which was lacking in Buschmannkopf. Die Idee zu suchen nach Sheichet, an Almen, an ältere Menschen, hat ungenommen, und Wassermann hat Tekev umgeschrieben an Annons, was hat gesollt reingehen in a jüdische Zeitung in Johannesburg. So the idea that they should look for a sheichet who was a widower, an older person, was accepted, and Wasserman immediately wrote up an advert which was supposed to go into a Yiddish newspaper in Johannesburg. Auf dem dosigen Annons haben sich abgerufen drei. Three people responded to this particular advert. Einer is given an Alman. One of them was a widower, a mensch mit einiglich, an older person with grandchildren. Wohnt bei a Tochter, hat geschrieben. Aber es ist nicht gering durchzumachen mit Kindern. He was living with his daughter, he wrote, but it was not easy for him to get on with children. Der Rebbe will leben an eigenem selbstständigen Leben, and for that reason he wanted to live his own independent life. Der zweite is euch gewinnen Almen. Noch jung in der 40er. The second person who applied was also a widower. Still young in his 40s, is gern anzukommen, anzunehmen die Stelle, aber hat nicht lieb zu lernen mit Kindern. So he was also in his 40s, but he was keen to take on the position, but he didn't like to teach children. Hat man sein Applikatietekef abgeworfen. So they discarded his application immediately. Der dritte is gewesen a Bocher. The third one was a young unmarried man. In the middle 20er Jahren, in his mid-20s. Eider is gekommen in Afrika, hat geweilt a Jahr in England. Before coming to South Africa, he had spent a year in England. Redt schon nicht kosher dicken English. He spoke not a bad English. Is sprachfähig. He was competent in language. Zugleich mit der Applikatie hat euch zugeschickt a Fotografia. Together with his application, he also sent a photograph. Leuten Bild sieht euch an a Sobner mit große lebendige Augen. According to the photograph, he looked as though he was a stout person with large, lively eyes, an ausgefüllter Guff with a corpulent body. Die Mehrheit hat gestimmt für den ersten Applikant. The majority voted for the first applicant, dem 60-jährigen Almen, the 60-year-old widower. Aber die Frauen, mit den Ausnahmen von Frau Horowitz, seien gewinnt gegen. But the women, with the exception of Mrs. Horowitz, they were against this decision. Sie haben gedroht mit a Revolution, mit a boycott, and they threatened a revolution. They threatened a boycott. Sie haben geteilt, so they claimed, was kann a 60-jähriger Mensch aufton? What could a 60-year-old person accomplish. Die Kinder wollen nicht haben keinen Respekt for him. The children wouldn't have any respect for him. Seine Manieren und Begriffen seinen verälterte. His manners and his concepts were most likely outdated. Wassermanns lange und dünne Weib hat geteinet. Wasserman's tall and slim wife claimed. Es will sich einmal a rupreden von Herzen, sich halten an Eize mit dem Reverend. Wer wird sich gehen sitzen, führen ein intimes Gespräch mit a 60-jährigen Mannsbild? So Wasserman's wife said, who would want to go and confide in and hold and get advice from a reverend? Who would want to go and sit and conduct an intimate conversation with a 60-year-old man? Welche schmeckt noch avada euch Tabak? A 60-year-old man who probably uses snuff. Is angenommen geworden die Applikation von dem Bocher. So the application of the young man was accepted. Horowitz hat bemerkt, als der junge Mann hat sicher gesehen, Benevua, als Freuen wollen siegen, hat reingeschickt sein Applikation mit dem Bild. So Horowitz commented that this young man had seen ahead of time that the women would
Win.
that the women would win, and he had sent in his a photograph with his application. And I think